Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Digital Open Day. My name is Ljiljana Marjanović-Hallberg. I'm head of School of Engineering here at University of Leicester. And, it's although we should be used through COVID pandemic of these online sessions, they still feel pretty weird. So I really hope that you guys can hear me and can see me. So what is engineering, really? So engineering really bridges the gaps between the science and commerce, as well as science and end user. Engineering is all about producing more efficient design, less resource usage, increased lifespan of materials, less maintenance, exploiting new scientific results to develop new technologies, and contribute, of course, to profitability of a company. You have here really two very different examples. You have a plane, a Boeing 787, obviously a lot of engineering went into it, but also a coffee cup. And maybe we can really understand the challenges about engineering more intuitively if you look at the coffee cup. That simple coffee cup has to be cheap enough to produce some profit to its manufacturer, but the material has to be good enough so that you don't burn your fingers when you hold it. It really ought to be recyclable if you are environmental friendly. It ideally should not spill, so should be portable. So really, these are quite, even for a simple product as a coffee cup, there is a lot of research and design that goes into it before we have it at the level where we want it. So an engineer can truly change the world through that simple recyclable coffee cup up to a really energy efficient air transfer. And if we are now face-to-face session, I would now ask you to raise your hands and tell me whether or not have you heard about Doctors Without Borders. And a number of people would always raise their hands. But then I would ask you, how about Engineers Without Borders, which is a very similar non-profit, non-governmental organization that sort of solves engineers' solutions to most isolated and deprived areas in the world, because really they indeed put global responsibility at the heart of engineering. And the power that comes of engineering is absolutely amazing. If you join us, our school will soon be joining Engineers Without Borders, and you will be able to cooperate with that organization and have their design challenge integrated in your modules. We offer 3 programs: aerospace engineering, general engineering, and mechanical engineering, all as B-Eng and M-Eng. Our degrees are accredited by UK leading bodies, and that is really very important for you. Those who graduate with M-Eng can then apply after a certain experience at the company for a chartered engineer student status. Each program of ours can be taken either a year in industry or a year abroad. And the fact that our programs are accredited are very important, because it really helps us be on the top of the professional requirements. But also when we have these accreditation visits, these people from the chartered institutes, they really turn our programs upside down and look for all the evidence that indeed our graduates comply with their standards and they can become chartered engineers. So if we continue with trying to, if you start trying to answer the question, why do you want to study engineering at the University of Leicester? What I really want to put there for all of you at the front is that here it's what we do is research informed teaching, where teachers and students are equally involved in creating knowledge. And the quotes are from a very old Humboldt paper, which really defined what university and higher education is. So we have world leaders in many areas of engineering science. Our staff research in materials engineering, noise from jet engines, digital manufacturing, augmented reality, biomaterials, spacecraft systems. But while they are active researchers, they inform their teaching through that research, and they work with you to put you in the center of both their teaching and whenever possible their research too. We are very lucky that university still invests in our time and our ability to really treat all our students as equal partners in creating that knowledge. The quality of our research, like research of any other university, is measured by government through Research Excellence Framework. Recently, there was a submission 2021, and 90% of our submitted outputs and 50% of our impact were ranked either by world leading or internationally excellent. So, and you might wonder what is our output. So our lecturers, professors, our educators, they do research and then they write papers, they publish in internationally peer-reviewed journals. And that is really what we are very proud, that we are really, our outputs, our research are just really world-leading and international excellent, essentially across the board. Now, these are some examples of our, this should be a video, yes, good. I hope you see this video, which is a fantastic simulation, which shows how we use numerical techniques to develop a full understanding of the physics of the jet noise. That research flows directly into teaching of the colleague who sort of did that, and also he involves a lot of students in their final year project. And by understanding that, they are then going into industry ready to tackle the knowledge needed to really come up with a solution to help future sustainable development of our shared planet. The other example I would like to show you of many is, for example, one of our professors has recently won the Royal Society Industry Fellowship at Rolls-Royce, and he is really looking into improving their engines, and has already essentially at the very start of that fellowship have registered patent, had enabled practical solutions, and has really reduced surface defects and scrap, but also helped Rolls-Royce accumulate a substantial large annual cost savings. We don't cooperate only with industry. Research is very much of a teamwork. We cooperate with other universities. And again, you have here the examples of the research about flame structural analysis, which were done in collaboration with Imperial College London. But here is something kind of closer to home or to our students. You see two examples here, one as a photograph, one as a sort of obviously computer image of real products that where students were participating in making them either as a part of their individual year project in undergraduate year 3 or the master programs. One is about battery charger, the other is about small scale experiment that is helping, again, hot cracking susceptibility of materials, but an actual really experimental rig. So if you continue trying to answer the question of why study engineering at the University of Leicester, you will receive a personalized learning experience at Leicester. Less is often more. We are not a large school. Year 1 cohort is usually around 260 students in total. That really allows us to make a very personal relationship with our students, to get to know them, and not just lecturers, but also our technicians, because we are really working as a team. Our courses have a strong focus on employability. We offer comprehensive student support. But what I really like about our programs is that they are flexible. Year 1 is common to all degree streams. So if you come to us wanting to study mechanical engineering and then you change your mind and you want to go and do aerospace engineering, no problem at all. We don't have quotas, and after a year 1, regardless of how you apply to us, you can decide to take whichever degree you think is the most suitable for you. You can add a year industry or a year abroad, and you can transfer to and from B.Eng and M.Eng degrees. For some of you, the tables might be important and ranking, and we are proud of our ranking, but the most important really is the support we offer to you. The Good Complete University Guide and Guardian rank us at the top 20 for engineering, although at Guardian, strictly speaking, we are 21st, but we are still obviously very proud of that achievement. This gives you the idea of the upper part of this slide gives you the idea of where our students go for industrial placement. And at the bottom, you see the list of university, only some where our students go for the year abroad. As you can see, both options are often fantastic opportunities, and both are directly related to employability. The year in industry can absolutely not be possibly underestimated how important it is to develop you as a person and as a future engineer. And again, the year abroad is utterly important to develop you as an international citizen, because again, engineering is a very international business nowadays, and also our problems are shared and common problems. So the further more about the student support and employability. We embed employability skills in all our programs, and not only through our teaching, but also through the softwares you use and the practical work in our assessment design. So any software we'll ask you to use, it is going to be an industry standard software. So you could expect that it's very likely to use it later on in your employment. We do a variety of assessment to support the development of your management skills. Group project will enhance your teamwork and management skills, but you will also have opportunity to do individual project, which includes project planning, management, budgeting, everything that you really need to do. A university and us as a lecturer will provide you with CV preparation, career guidance built into tutorial systems. But most important, really, your personal tutor is assigned at the start of your course and will remain until you graduate. The tutorials we run, it's obviously you will have opportunity to see us as your personal tutors, but also we will use our personal sessions to build up on the teaching you receive in the classrooms, mainly around employability skills, but also if there are any issues with their assignments, of course. Our academics have open door policy, which means that they are there when you need them. You can always go and see them or write them an email and they will respond to you. We embrace the wide diversity of our student body, and as a school, as a sort of our academics are also coming from diverse background, and we really are very proud about that. Considering how much employability is central to our programs, again, no surprise that our graduates really end up with jobs in a very high profile companies such as Jaguar, Caterpillar, Rolls-Royce. Just some of them are listed there for you, but there are many others. This is not to say that, of course, we also send very successfully our graduates to work with the local SMEs or again abroad. Engineer graduates are also really sought after in data science and finance industries, and a lot of engineering graduates find jobs there. And also, they do go and do further studies. Some do masters, some do doctoral studies, some stay to do research with us. This gives you the kind of just a graphical interpretation of our approach to designing our curriculum. And kind of these boxes try to give you the proportion of common versus specialism and versus sort of taught versus labs and designs. So year one is common, and as a common year, it will provide you with the fundamentals in mathematics, areas of mechanical engineering, areas of electrical engineering, but also design and labs. So from the day one, in your group projects, you will be asked to sort of actually make something practical, and you will also be doing an experiments and writing a lab reports. And you will be weekly assessed on those lab reports. So from the year one, you would have really a variety of assessment to suit different learning styles. In year two, you will get some specialisms, of course. We will see the look of those in a few slides from now. Control will stay as a sort of common subject for all. You will sort of have specialist subjects, but you will then continue to do group design and project labs. And as part of year two, you will actually design a fighting robot. And I now regret for not bringing one of the fighting robot designs here in my office so that I can show it to you how it looks. But it's an absolute great fun. So you will design, make from scratch, and at the end, the culmination will be that your little robots are fighting, and it's a great kind of, end to your year one. Having said that, as your project progresses, you're obviously not left alone. You need to know if you're on a track. And we have industry sponsor coming regularly throughout year two, to which you will present, so not only to your academics, but also to industry sponsors from our colleagues from industry, who will then, you will present, where are you with your project, and then they will give you feedback at that relevant for that particular time of that year, but that you use to design your fighting robot. In year two, you will get more specialism, and you will get some optional modules. So year three, where you will actually be able to choose some of the modules you are going to do. And you will, of course, the other common module is project management, which will not be taught in isolation, but it will be linked to your individual project, year three individual project, which is very important for you, because this is where you choose to do what you're really interested in. Individual project is not a taught module, it's a module where you sort of do the projects of your choosing. We obviously have a project supervisor. And this is really one of the main things that you can put on your CV later on when you sort of apply for jobs. And this is also where the research comes very important, because we have colleagues who can offer you topics at the edge of the sort of, current problems in engineering industry. At year four, you have further specialism and even more options, because at year four, you are now quite mature along your course of studies, and you are well informed to make further choices. Where do you want exactly to specialize? And then you will have a big group project, again, in parallel with the management module, where you will further develop your professional skills, which will essentially prepare you for the chartership project. Again, for group projects, our colleagues will give examples from their research. We will get examples from the industry. And I believe some of you have heard about the wonderful Space Park Leicester, which belongs to our university. And engineering school cooperates with Space Park Leicester. And currently one of the projects, group project, an MN student, is actually being conducted at the Space Park Leicester. This is how your timetable would look like. On Mondays, you would have combination of lectures and labs. On Tuesday, you will have time to do your design and then be in lectures. Obviously, where exactly you will be doing design depends on which year you're in and what design you're actually doing. On Wednesday, you will have tutorials or similar. Wednesday afternoon is free at any university for you to undertake sports or just to chill out, to have some free time. Thursday, again, the combination of design and lecture, and Friday, lectures and labs. As you can see, we are really trying to sort of mix and match so that the week that you spend at university is quite dynamic. So, and this is the flavor of some of the specialist subjects. So obviously, those of you who are interested in aerospace engineering, you will be listening and learning about aerodynamics and aircraft systems, aircraft performance and navigation, flight dynamics, aerospace materials, spacecraft systems, fluid dynamics. If you're interested in mechanical engineering, you will be learning in more deep about heat transfer and energy systems, materials processing. Our school is particularly strong about in materials field, energy systems, tribology, fluid dynamics, advanced materials. And finally, if you're interested in general engineering, our general engineering very much has the flavors of mechatronics, as in really equips you with the ability to work in companies and systems where you need to understand mechanical engineering side, electronic sides, and communication. So and obviously the ever so important computer interface and artificial intelligence and machine learning. You also get to specialize in the third and the fourth year projects too. As I already explained, these are really the sort of jewel in the crown of your education, and we'll offer a lot of choice to help you support, do exactly where your interest is and what is relevant for your future employment. A little bit about where are we, especially this is relevant because this is a digital open day and we are not in the sort of here in Leicester. So here you have a map of the sort of essentially almost whole area of Leicester really, or its wider center. The campus is some 20 minutes walk from the city center. Leicester is a beautiful town of absolutely perfect size. It has city actually, it's not town. It offers everything that the city should offer to you, from a concert hall to a cinema to an interesting different scenes, jazz, rock and roll, alternative, whatever, shopping centers, very famous Leicester Independent Market. And the walk from the campus to a city center can take you via most beautiful new walk, a pedestrian street, so an absolutely beautiful stroll. We have now the new student village. You heard more about that at your accommodation talk, which is very near our campus, but the largest student village is further out from the center. There is obviously a free shuttle bus that can take you from a student village to a campus. And that's absolutely beautiful area, as sort of this image would indicate, close to open door areas. So if you really want to live in a city where you can walk or bike everywhere and yet have all the excitement that the city brings to you, Leicester, without the high price tag, Leicester is the perfect choice for you. Leicester has another university too, so it does have a very vibrant student life. And of course, it's not all work, really. We have a lot of student societies, among them Innova Society, which is affiliated with Institute of Engineering Technologies, which accredit our program. So obviously it's very closely, our students are very interested in Innova Society, and they take part in engineering projects, hackathons and competitions. They organize events and trips, very, very popular indeed with our students. We have Women in STEM Society, again, support to females who study engineering or any other STEM subject. And I don't think that you can think of society that a student union didn't come up with. And if you think that there isn't a society, student union will be there to help you start your own. So really, absolutely fantastic student union and a great opportunity to make new friends and just enjoy your student life. The student club that we are particularly proud of is obviously our Formula Student. That's every year in Silverstone, the student teams race. It's organized by the Institution of Mechanical Engineering, or IMECA, again, one of the organizations that, professional organizations that accredit our programs, and students do everything. I mean, this fantastic racing car, it's totally designed by student, project managed by student. They look for sponsors, they budget. It's really, really phenomenal experience, and it certainly helps you also prepare for the future work. And you don't really have to be necessarily into automotive to take part of this project that is of your interest. But enough for me. Who can better tell you how the life at Leicester looks like than our own student, Joshua Steele. So over to Joshua, really.
Hi guys, I'm a third year student studying at the University of Leicester. I'm here to answer your questions. I don't think we've got many from you guys. I just want to say, stick them in the chat. They can be anything. They don't just have to be about Leicester. Honestly, it could be the good bits about university, the bad bits, what good halls, what good pubs. You know, that's always a good question to ask. Yeah, just stick anything in the chat and I'll answer it for you. I haven't got a script or anything in front of me, so it's all from an honest perspective. But I'll give you a bit of context of how I came here. I was doing my A-levels and I wanted to join the forces. I was set on that, absolutely set. I didn't want to go to university. I ended up failing joining the forces and I had to pick somewhere to study at university. So I had no clue. I never looked into university, and my head of school chose Leicester for me. So I didn't even choose Leicester myself. They also put Sheffield down. And when A-levels came out, I ended up choosing Leicester. I'd not been to a single open day or anything, so I had no preconceived perceptions about the university. So I arrived, and surprisingly to me, I really liked it here. I wasn't a fan of university as an idea. I got here, and yeah, really surprised me. Any questions you want to stick on, I can answer them all. But yeah, I'll list some things off. When I went to this university, the class sizes are a massive thing for me. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed by any means, but the small classes here at Leicester provide us a massive advantage compared to our competitors. That's one of the big things about Leicester, especially for me, is the small classes. Massive support here. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things for me. The student life as well here is really good. Yeah, I haven't seen other universities student life quite as much, but yeah, that's really good. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Francesca.
Would you be able to just tell us, Joshua, because you're a third year, what's been your favourite either module or thing that you've worked on whilst being at the university?
Yeah, that's a hard one. Favourite module by far, because I'm an aero student, I've got the modules here actually, was the aerodynamics aircraft systems. That's the first time you really specialise into anything aerospace, and so you're calculating lift for the first time and all that stuff, and it's yeah, that's really good. Small class sizes as well. I'd say about 40 of you, 30 of you. So that it's really good support, and you can ask questions whenever. That's really good. My favourite part of uni probably was definitely first year. I was a COVID year, and so obviously I had a very different experience, but it was still an absolute blast. Yeah, the student village here is really good. Yeah, the atmosphere is just like nothing else I've seen before.
Brill, thank you. And can you say anything about kind of the level of support that's available for students, I guess on your course, but also more generally from people that you may know, either from staff or just across communities student-wise?
Yeah, definitely. So with the university, you've got, well, first thing is the SU, so the student union. There's massive support there. So if you need anything from counselling, just a general advice, they've got all their stuff there. That's open 9 till 5 every day, apart from weekends. And the staff here, so you're given a tutor at the start of university. They provide you guidance and everything you need all the way until you leave. Now that's really good. That's really good support there. But as a whole, any staff member you can go up to. James, I needed help with my project, and I had no clue about the question that I needed to do for my project proposal. And yeah, I went up to him. He didn't really know me, and he gave me a project proposal, and yeah, I set off. So it's honestly any staff member you need help from, that they're always there, and always an open door policy really stands true here. Yeah, it's the support is really good.
Brill, thank you. And I guess a question lots of people want to know the answer to. You mentioned it briefly, but how do you find the social aspect of being a student at Leicester, and what are your favourite things to do in the city?
Yeah, so the social at this university is really good. The village is really a student village in that aspect. Yeah, it's like nothing else. Compared to other universities, the student life here is outstanding. In the city, there's just pub and pubs, so it's a really good crack. Yeah, it's really good. I would say come and experience it yourself. But no, it's compared to other universities. I don't think I should name them, but the student life is much better here, and especially since you've got DMU just down the road, you've got the two student, let's say, circles intermingling. No, it's a really, really good community.
Brill. And I'll just ask you one last question before we just finish off the presentation. What would you say to anybody who's currently considering University of Leicester?
I would say to them, come to Leicester, come to an open day. You'll see the staff, and you'll see actually how friendly everyone is and how much support you get. Because I've, from first-hand experience, yeah, I've definitely, the support is outstanding. And actually go to other universities so you can see how little support there is there compared to here.
Amazing. Thank you for that, Joshua. It's really great to hear the students' perspective. If we'd like to just hand back over, we can finish off the presentation and then we'll do a bit of a Q&A to finish.
Thank you very much. I mean, what is there to say after such a fantastic testament that Joshua gave to us? Again, I just said to Joshua, just be open and just give your own story. As Joshua said, absolutely no scripts there. And for me, who'd kind of joined the university on the 1st of November only, it was absolutely fantastic to hear from Joshua that even during COVID time, it was a blast. I don't think that many people will experience that, describe that experience, but that really means that colleague went well beyond their call of duty, because these were very difficult times for all of us. And, you know, what's better to finish than with the information about the scholarship. So please, more information about the scholarship, which is again part of our support package, is available on our website. And that really sort of ends up the formal presentation from my end, which I will now stop sharing the slides, but I would also be here to answer any questions that you have. Thank you very much for listening.
Lovely. So we've got a little bit of time now after the presentation just to answer a few questions that people might have. So we've kind of covered what the typical day for a student would look like, but some people might be interested to hear how university and studying at higher education is kind of differs, or the differences that they may face when coming from college or vocational courses into the university setting. So who would like to take that question?
Well, I mean, it's yeah, I'm happy to do that. Except that I was so again, this is great with live shows, isn't it? Because we also have our chat, just like our listeners do. And we were all busy complimenting Joshua on his really great performance. So Nicole, could you please, Francesca, could you please repeat the question?
Yes, of course. I was just asking, some people might be interested to consider what the differences would be between what they may be studying now, so at college or vocation, compared to going into the university setting. We touched a little bit on a typical day, but what would you say are the key differences when going into higher education?
Well, I think that the key difference is exactly what I mentioned about research-informed teaching. And that really is what defines a university sector. With engineering especially, engineering companies, engineering products, engineering field has to move forward. We offer solutions. If you just reflect back on COVID, right? Again, if you think who was first on the scene to solve solutions, to make ventilators, tubing, everything, PPE out of nothing, it was actually engineers. And if you look around, you know, any disruptive technology from our mobile phones to streaming of Netflix or really anything, it is engineers, but those who are exposed to research. Behind everything we do and use, look at, for example, the way we control now heating, because we are all talking about reducing our energy bills. And this little Hive thing that sort of you can install that learns how you use your home, how you can reduce the energy, sets up your temperature points, know when you're going to go back, knows when you're going to kind of go to bed, kind of really controls your system because they learn your lifestyle. I know because I witnessed that was initially developed at the university. any product that we now take off the shelf, which is related to engineering, before was a subject of a thorough research. Only graduates who really had these people going through university are exposed to this research-informed teaching and are able to immediately offer off-the-shelf solutions, not immediately, but after a few days of working in a company. And I think it is this ability to choose jobs, right? With a university career, where you can go is a bigger choice than without university career. It's kind of goes, who can do more can do less, but who can do less can't do more, really. So regardless where do you decide to go with your university degree, if you have a university degree, you open more doors for yourself. It's definitely investment worth taking.
Perfect, thank you. And I'd just like to pop to Joshua as well. What do you think, for you, the same question, your perspective on the key differences between before coming to uni and afterwards as well?
Yeah, definitely from A levels, compared to being spoon-fed then. I think the main thing about university that I would like to say is that it teaches you how to teach yourself. I think definitely from going from first year, where I had no clue what was going on, shoved in the deep end, I couldn't do anything without a teacher's help, which I did get the help, but slowly I learned how to teach myself to the point now where for my third year project, I've taught myself how to use a whole new software, basically by myself with the support of other students. But it's definitely they teach you how to teach yourself, and that's the main thing about university. You carry that on through until industry, and you do that there as well.
Amazing, thank you both. Bro, I'd just like to also ask a question around the placement years, which you mentioned as part of your presentation, and what kind of support is there available for students when looking into things like that and helping them source those or making those decisions?
So the university obviously has a placement office. We have the dedicated academic who is in contact with our placement office. At the moment, we have slightly over 30 students who are on placement, which is a very healthy number considering that we went just out of pandemic, because obviously that affected also the companies where their ability to take students on the placement. Placements are competitive business. So the fact that there is a placement opportunity doesn't mean that our student will get it. So the job of the university is to create those opportunities, which University of Leicester absolutely does. Our jobs as tutors and academics are to prepare, together with the placement service that Central University offers, is how to go to that interview, how to write up the CV. But it's really a practice for a job, right? You go there, you're then interviewed by that company, and it's a competitive process. And either you get your placement or not. We absolutely encourage our students to go for placement, but not all students want to, because that does add 1 year of your studies, right? So because for some students, the priority is that they graduate as soon as possible. But there is plenty of opportunity for the support and plenty of opportunity to apply for placements.
Perfect, thank you. And just a question about students right now who are not quite at the stage of coming to university. Is there anything you could advise them to get involved with prior to coming to university that might help them as they come onto the course?
I can try, and then we can put the live on Joshua, although his experience is that he didn't really go to university. I mean, I'm the mother whose son just submitted his UCAS application, right? Because he wanted to go to university. And I have to say that I have an impression that high schools put an undue pressure on children that apparently they should do something extra special, spend half a year writing about their personal statement. You need to have a passion or a reason why do you want to study that particular area. And as Joshua said, we will do the rest, right? Nothing can really quite prepare you for the change from the high school to university. You go from being a child to being a person that someone else is responsible to being an adult and moving to a very different education setting. But that is part of the journey. That shift is really exactly what it should be part of the journey. So while I don't believe that you can particularly prepare yourself for what is in store for you, but you should have a passion and desire to do it.
Amazing, thank you. And I think that is the most important thing, being passionate about the subject you want to go on to study. Joshua, was there anything to add there?
Yeah. So you don't have to prepare for university. One thing I will say is you don't have to do rugby to do rugby as a society. Get involved. You know, that's the biggest thing I can tell you right now, is you don't have to have previous experience. Just get involved when you get to uni and just join societies, and you won't regret it. So you don't have to come to uni knowing everything. That's not the point of uni. So come here with an open mind and come in with the mindset of getting involved, because it will be over before you know it, and you don't want to miss these opportunities.
Amazing, thank you. And so just a question about Formula Student, which sounds incredibly exciting. So students that come onto the course, how do they get involved with that project? Who would like to take that?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Joshua. Please continue.
Sorry. There'll be an email sent out, usually. My flatmate and my friend, John, he does Formula Students, and it's his life, and they really, really enjoy it. Joining up is as simple as sending them an email. They'll send an email out to everyone, and there's an application process, so you have to apply. You just basically got to show that you've got enough interest in that subject and enough time to put forward to really contribute to the team. And they're a really, really close team. I'm not a part of them. I'm an honorary member through social circles, but no, they're a really good bunch. And just show you've got the enthusiasm, and you'll get in. It's a really, really good crack. It's a way to put a real practical view on engineering. Yeah, it's really, really good. One of the best societies to join by far.
Amazing, thank you. I believe we have just got time for one more question, and it has been briefly covered in the presentation, but I just wanted to reinforce again about the types of careers that people can go into by taking on any of your engineering courses, if anybody would like to have a final comment on that. Perfect, thank you.
Yes, I mean, it's obviously you can really work anywhere. Obviously, you can work in any engineering sector. You can work in energy sector with our mechanical engineering degree. You can work in automotive sector, obviously aerospace, aeronautical sector, where again, you can work as a designer, you can work as a sort of product development, but also you can, for example, work at the airports, you can work for the air carrier companies. There are different sides of jobs, different types of jobs you can take in that particular sector, and for each of them you really need to have a university or engineering degree. With I'm just sort of really naming some, with because we are mechanical engineering very strong with options in materials. The 21st century, a lot of people describe as a sort of a century of digital innovation. For me, it is absolutely the material century. I mean, everything is changing due to the advances in material science. So again, you will be surprised, but the new screens on your television are at the back of material science, so you can go and work in the electronic industry with material science. You can go and you work in the transport industry. Bullet trains will not be there, fast trains, if it isn't for materials science. So really, with the material science, you can pretty much work in any sector you can imagine. But as the slide said, engineers are really sought after in the finance sector too, and sort of banking sector. And it's exactly because of what Joshua said. What we really teach you is how to think. What he describes as I teach myself now. He can teach himself because he knows to recognize the problem and he knows how to approach the problem. And he is essentially, absolutely have all of these transferable skills that are important for, again, modeling and understanding the system, which is important for the finance sector. So yes, you can variety of careers with the engineering degree.
Amazing, thank you. Well, thank you everybody who's been able to join us today. And thank you to our lovely speakers who have been with us today also. If anybody requires any further information, I have popped some links into the Q&A box, and please check out any other talks that we have going on this evening. Thank you so much and have a lovely rest of your evening.